So basically, when they rolled the equipment out on Monday, many of you here and many others basically gathered in this place and said, we will stop you. We will walk out there and put our bodies on the line if you try to dig into this earth. And of course they did. A lot of people walked out there and surrounded that traco, that excavator, and the U.S. Marshals were here, the state police were here, I think 5 different township police units were here. What's that?
It's about 10 departments.
Oh, 10 different departments? Oh, wow. And then, and also private security that Williams has hired, because having the U.S. Marshals, the state police, and 10 local units aren't enough for them. So they also have their own private security. To me, as far as I'm concerned, they're all Williams private security. That's how they function. So we walked out there, surrounded the bulldozer, shut it down, and sang some beautiful songs for a while. And when the police said, okay, anyone who doesn't leave will face arrest, there were 23 brave people who stood there and did exactly that, and faced arrest, and were arrested. So from ages 16 to 86, not to give anyone's age out who doesn't want it out, but right here, 86. It's a pretty beautiful thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and read off the list of names of those 23 people who put themselves right in front of the excavator. I don't know. John, are you here? Are you close by, or are you talking to police?
Is Eva here?
Eva Teleska. I see you, Eva Teleska. She's in the back. Yeah, we had a little something to give folks, but as I read off these names, so this was published in the Lancaster newspaper, I might not get all your last names right. If you don't mind coming on up here and standing, and again, I know. Is that too much? Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. Julie, is it Brioche? I haven't seen her yet today. Should we read ages? 37, it is in the paper. Of Lancaster, released on her own recognizance. Yeah, we'll make this sound very legally official. Malinda Clatterbuck, 47? 47? My goodness, that's true. How did that happen? Of Holtwood, released on her own recognizance. Diana DeLuca, are you here? 63 of Millersville. Ann DeVitri, 58 of Columbia. It's in the newspaper. I'm just reading the newspaper. It is an honor. James Eball, 64 of Glen Rock. There he is. He's junior. Well, clap for him anyway. $1,000 unsecured bail. Christine Elliott, 66 of Boston, Massachusetts. I know she didn't make it back today. So retired Methodist minister. Came down with her husband from Massachusetts on Monday. She's been involved with the movement. Andrea Farrick, 37 of Spring Mills. She was, right?
No.
I thought I saw her. Okay. Don Gallagher Jr., 70 of Lidditz. And Patrick, is it Ganter? 23 of Lancaster. Pete. Robin, is it Layson? Lasan. Robin Lasan, a young 55 of Lidditz. And Peter, I cannot say your last name. Ferricciardo? I know. But give it up for Peter, 70 of Lancaster. He's his father, and I think later in the day, they called his wife and said, do you know your husband is here? And she's like, oh, he said he might swing by. It's like, well, you can pick him up in the county prison. Lucy Latham, 58 of Lancaster.
She's not here.
Okay. Susan Lithgow, 67 of Lancaster. Susan here either? Elizabeth Lucabaugh, 55 of Glen Rock. Lucabaugh. I think from York County. Rachel Mark, 71 of Hummelstown. Reverend Jerry Lee Miller, 69 of Lancaster. $10,000 unsecured bail. What has he done? He's been doing this a long time. Anthony Provenzano, 51. All the way from West Virginia. He's been fighting this with us for a long time now.
I bet he has one.
And Ann Sensenig, 56 of Lancaster. And then Barbara Van Horn at a young 86 years old of Duncannon. Paul Yatab, 67. I don't think I've seen Paul here. Of Lancaster. Daryl Yoder, 60 of Lancaster.
At the Renaissance.
Oh, at the Renaissance Fair. Elam Zook, whose story was in the paper today, I heard, I haven't read it. But Elam Zook, give it up for Elam. And Ashton Clatterbuck, who rounds out the youth, 16 years old, of Hopewood. And she is selling pretzels in a pretzel truck today. He is selling, would much rather be here, but that's where he is today with his sister, Hannah. So at this point, I was going to turn this over to Malinda.
I just want to say what an incredible experience it was on Monday with these ladies. We were all in the same, I keep saying holding cell, I guess that's what it was. And we kind of started off in high spirits. You know, we got there at 7 o'clock at night. We were arrested at 1:30. We hadn't been processed yet. We had just been given food for the first time, some of us water for the first time since the arrest. And it was kind of fun. When was the last time we had a slumber party with 13 friends with a range of age like this? Like, we laughed and we joked and we didn't talk about the action, but we talked about our lives. We talked about who we are and why we're here, and about how important it is to us to stand up for justice. That, wow, can you believe how many of us got arrested for the first time? The first time I've ever been arrested. And I was like, other people have been doing social justice, civil disobedience for a long time. This is my first arrest in this field. And Mindy Roy, I love you, and I've meant to call you today, and I'm so glad you're here. I'll talk to you afterwards, but peace to you, my friend. And so I feel like we laughed, we got giddy, we went through that stage where we were so tired, we didn't make sense, and then we got discouraged, and we're like, still, we didn't get a phone call after 12 hours? We still didn't get a phone call? They haven't let us out yet? Is this normal? So we went through all kinds of stages of being together in there. But what was lovely and beautiful was if someone was a little discouraged, someone else wasn't. And with the 13 women all together, we could hold each other up. But then they separated us because 9 were released at one point, men and women. And so there were still people who hadn't even been fingerprinted yet. 3 o'clock in the morning was the first time any of us was released. And those who were still in hadn't even been fingerprinted yet. So the process took a really long time. I just wrote up a 10-page, single-space account of our arrest for our lawyers from the very beginning until I walked out of the prison. Because I think that there were a lot of things that took place that didn't make sense to me. And we just want to follow up on those issues. But I honor you, and I feel honored to be with you. And I also wanted to say, if there's anybody who wants to say anything, now is the time that you can come do it. And if you don't, there's no pressure whatsoever. But I will force Barbara to bring your jacket up here, if you don't mind, so we can read what you have written on the back of it, even if you don't want to speak. Is there anyone else who would like to say a word or two about their experience? No pressure whatsoever. It's only if you desire. Or Anthony or Don.
I'd just like to say that it's because there's a bunch of other people that are committed and wonderful, centered people who took the stand as well that allowed me to be able to do that. If it were just me standing there in front of the bulldozer or facing this issue, even though I feel strongly about it, I would not have the guts to do anything about it. So it's really because of this community that I felt empowered to be able to do that. So I'm really grateful for the community here and the spirit and the centeredness. There's been a lot of rallies and protests and vigils that I've gone to where I'm a little nervous about taking part because you never know what's going to happen and who's going to do something that's going to reflect something that's not what I believe in. But with this group, I feel so inspired by the leadership of and the guidelines that are set down, the nonviolent approach, the respectful approach. I just really, really appreciate a movement with integrity like this that allows me to take part confidently when I'm not confident on my own.
Do you want to say anything? I can hold it up for you. Okay.
I just want to say I got this 6 or 7 years ago in Pittsburgh when the gas drillers were meeting out there. And I've been standing up for this ever since. And I was interviewed twice today, and I said they could interview me if they would show my shirt. And also, I am really disgusted with the Pennsylvania legislature. Don't they read the Constitution?
I'm going to read to you what her shirt says. It says, Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Article 1, Declaration of Rights, Natural Resources and Public Estates, Section 27. The people have a right to clean air, pure water, and to the preservation of the natural, scenic, historic, and aesthetic values of the environment. Pennsylvania's public natural resources are the common property of all the people, including generations yet to come. This is in our Pennsylvania State Constitution, everyone. As trustee of these resources, the Commonwealth shall conserve and maintain them for the benefit of all the people.
I just want to add that those generations yet to come. I have a great-grandson who's 2 years old, and his picture has been on the altar ever since the chapel team met here the first time.
Thank you, Barbara. Anybody else? Okay, then you may have a seat, and thank you so much for standing up with us again, yet again.